Hi, everybody. So this is the fourth segment in building and creating repeatable systems so that you can consistently generate revenue every single day. So here's what I want you to do at this point is get your notebook out because now it's time to make this a system. All right, let's go over to grab our wonderful slides. You should be able to see it now. So let's talk about it. The system that turns one sale into a customer's for life, right? Build it once and let it run. So what I find more often than not is that there's lots of systems that are put in place to get a new customer, but there's none that truly allow you to retain every single customer that you have. And then last, know when to reactivate them. So if you've been watching this series, you've been watching where we've gone from the beginning of, hey, now that we've got these people, here's a way to reactivate them. And once we reactivate them, then what happens? Let's put it into a system so that it already happens in your business and you're not sitting there going, hey, is it time to reactivate somebody? So a tactic done once is a fluke. A tactic done where you systematize it, it really becomes a business, right? Most owners get one win, celebrate it, and never repeat it again. Do you know how many times I've gone into one of my clients' offices and I've said, all right, here's the things that we're going to do. And they go, oh, yeah, we used to do that. Do you mean you used to do that? How come you're not still doing that? Because if you just keep doing what you've done consistently, it will work. Consistency over time changes everything. You know, believe it or not, I still have a customer who still runs newspaper ads. Why? Because we put in a system where it tracks it. We're constantly looking at a number and we know that it's still working for her. So why would we ever stop? But so many times people are looking for the newest, the fastest, oh, it needs to be AI. Oh, it needs to be online. It needs to be easier. It shouldn't be this difficult. And truthfully, it's not that difficult. What is difficult is trying to leverage while you're still learning. What is difficult is trying to leverage while you're still learning. So if you figure out a way to leverage the things that you know forward and backwards, then you're able to experiment. But most of the time, folks, when they do it, they're experimenting, but they really need it to work. And if that's the case with you, it is always going to be tough. So every revenue system, every $1 million equation revenue system that I teach has three parts. It has a trigger, it has a sequence, and then it has an offer plus measure. I want to know what's the trigger? What makes this system start to run? What is it? Just like when you go into your car, what is it? We're going to turn the key, make sure there's gas. We're going to have the GPS tell us where to go. And then we're going to see if we got there. As long as we got there, then we know that this is a great route. We can do this again. Same with your business. If you miss one of these things, it's not really a system. It's just good intention. All right, let's tell the truth, shame the devil. Okay, so part one needs to be a trigger. When it fires automatically, we are talking about our reactivation system, right? So with reactivation, what should happen? 45 days of silence from a customer maybe triggers it. Maybe it's right after somebody buys. Then it's time to put them in that follow-up sequence. A website visitor leaves without buying. Okay, they checked us out, but we don't know. Okay, a birthday or a renewal date. When is it time for them to buy again? So if you've got your notebook, that's the question that you should be asking yourself right now. When is it time for somebody to buy again from you? And if they haven't bought from you in a while, why? Why is that? How come they haven't? Is it because you haven't reached out to them? Is it because you haven't sold them the same thing that they bought before? Right? If you're selling a brand new house, maybe somebody doesn't want to buy a brand new house again. But what are they looking to buy from me, a realtor again? Maybe they're looking to buy a vacation home, an ADU for their kid. Maybe they're looking to buy something that they can leverage, right? Looking for those things and making sure that we can offer them something new and unique makes it really fun and exciting. So your trigger is what makes it automatic instead of something that you have to remember. What is the trigger? What is the trigger? My mentor used to always talk about, if you run a diner and Jim comes in every single morning, how many days does it have to be before you call 911? Before you call Jim's house and go, hey, where are you? Without knowing. Like, if Jim told you he was going on vacation, then okay. But that should be the same old school offline trick that you have in your business. You need to put those triggers in place so that now you know when a customer should be back buying from you again. Okay, the sequence. What happens? Not just one message, a short series with a purpose. Reach out, add value, then make an offer. Reach out, add value, then make an offer. So don't just reach out and say, hey, it's time to buy again. It's reach out and figure out what's going on. Hey, are you all right? Jim, I haven't seen you in the coffee shop. Are you feeling okay? Do we need to call for you? Do we need to set up something? Would you like me to deliver the food to you so that you can still have your favorite breakfast? Okay, reach out, add value, and then make the offer. We'll do it, a couple of times for free just until you can come back. 9 times out of 10, Jim's going to say, absolutely not. I want to pay. Okay. But it makes sure that you've got revenue coming through consistently. And so here's the thing that I think people miss is that when I share these old school methods or old school examples, they feel as if it doesn't really show up for their business or it doesn't apply to their business. So your job as an entrepreneur, I believe, is to see how it applies to your business. How can you take these things that have always worked and apply them to your existing business? My father was an amazing man and was amazing in my life. And the one thing that he taught me very, very early before he passed away is he said, Rochelle, there's no new shit. Okay. And if I offend you, I'm sorry. But I'm a cusser. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I'm a cusser. My father said, there's no new shit. Okay. Anything you want to do, you can find in a book. Anything you want to do, you can find in a library. Anything now that you want to do, you can find on the internet. It's just about taking what you've learned and using your brain to apply it to your business. So oftentimes that's kind of how I use AI these days is I will say, this is working in this business. Show me how it can work in my business. Show me how it can work in my telephone business. Show me how it can work in my consulting business. Show me how it can work in my authority book publishing business. And so then it will give me some examples, and oftentimes it will trigger how I can really implement this there. But the old school bones that we used to use as a reason to reach out isn't buy from me. It's never buy from me. It's, hey, you've crossed my mind. Here's what's new, right? Hey, we've got a brand new piece of equipment. We've got a way to help you build much faster. We've got a brand new development opening that I think would be great for your kids, because see, sometimes the reactivation, it will trigger a referral, which that works just as well. But if you just say it's not time for them to buy again and I don't want to reach out to them, you've totally missed the point. You've totally missed the point. Here's the new school ways that we use reactivation, right? It's emails. It's, have they opened in the last 90 days? Okay, let's retarget the people who haven't opened. Let's retarget the openers, that I see that you're opening, but you haven't purchased. Let's retarget those because we need to figure out what they do want to buy from us. Automate the timing so that it happens every 45 days, that something gets moved either into another sequence, it gets a new tag, it gets something so that now it triggers it automatically for you. Same sequence, now it just runs on its own. Right? Same sequence, now it just runs on its own. So I love to do a reactivation campaign every single quarter. So every quarter, I'm doing a sweep of who are the people who haven't opened, who are the people who haven't bought, who are the people I haven't heard from, who are the people that I can send a gift to, who are the people, right? Who are the customers? So that now the re-trigger, the reactivation process is automatically happening, which that's what keeps revenue keeping coming in consistently, right? Okay. Part number 3 of the system is the offer and the measure. So every system ends with one clear ask, and you track one number. So you know if it worked and if you can improve it. All right, hear me out. What you don't measure, you can't systematize. Okay, just you can read it there. Once you know your numbers, you stop guessing and you start tuning, fine tuning. What is it? Right. So let's say for our reactivation campaign, we have 4,000 people that haven't been in the last 90 days or haven't opened my emails in the last 90 days, or 40 people, 400 people. Still want to know. And from those 40 people, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to have them raise their hand and say that, yes, they want to still be engaged. From those 40 people who haven't purchased a house or sent me a referral, I'm going to ask for a referral. Hi, Jim, I haven't talked to you in over a quarter. How's the new house? Are you loving it? Who else do you know that needs to buy a new house? You see, I'm constantly and consistently working with the people that are in my list so that I can get them to my favorite thing, right? Stay, pay, and refer. Joe Polish. That's what he said. If you know Joe Polish, you know that that's the goal. Get them to stay, pay, and refer. Use every single asset so we can build upon that asset. All right. You need to know what those numbers are so that you can measure it. Okay. So before we build this, I want you to know that the system is not the tech. All right. So a lot of people go, oh, Rochelle, how am I supposed to know that? I don't have the right tech. I'm not good at tech. I'm not, all of those excuses. Tech is really just the bonus. The system is truly the tracking. So I don't care if you use a Google Sheet, a spreadsheet, Microsoft spreadsheet, just hand papered list, or if you have them all in your CRM, but not tagged yet. So assign somebody to go in and tag them. But the tech is not the thing, right? The system is you being able to track it. And I don't care how you decide to track it. Tracking with no tech, the system still works, right? It still makes money. A notepad and a calendar is a system. Just don't get it twisted. Okay. People sit there and go, oh, no, I need to go buy something. If you don't know how to work that system, then how are you going to make sure that it's implemented? So what I said earlier is it's really hard to implement and leverage when you're just trying to learn the system. So if you're not going to hire somebody who already knows how to run it, then it's really important that you get your reactivation campaign out first before you say, okay, next time I'm going to put them in the system and I'm going to learn how to do this over the next 90 days. Okay, tech with no tracking, that's not a system, that's just noise. That's 15,000 on ads and nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. So you want to make sure that you have the tech is the bonus, but the system is in the tracking. All right, so let's build one live, right? A reactivation system for a customer who goes quiet. So the trigger is past customer hits 60 days of no contact. We haven't heard from them. We haven't heard anything else. The sequence is there's 3 touches over 2 weeks, a check-in, the value. Here, let me give you something. Let me show you what we're doing. Here's the behind the scenes so that you can implement it in your business, right? That's the value. And then the offer. Then the offer. The offer is you want your reactivation offer to be better than the very first offer you ever gave them. All right, for my telephone business, it was come back for free. You don't have to pay that old balance. You can come back for $100. They were like, wait, what? Yeah, you can come back for $100. For one of my other clients, we're doing a $1 reactivation. You can come back for 30 days for $1 just to get you back. It's a huge directory, and it has over 3,000 paying customers and 148,000 on their total list. But here's the number that's really big: is they've got 2,258 people who haven't heard from them, who it was time to renew and they didn't, because they didn't have a reactivation system in process. And so that's what we're putting together for you right now. The offer, one clear reason to come back, right? Hey, it's $1 over 30 days. Mine was, it's $100 instead of your old balance, no matter how much that balance was, but you have a better than best offer so that it's a no-brainer for them, right? That's why you want to do it. So it's a no-brainer. And then you measure percentage of who will return and who returned and who came in. And then once you have that baseline, then you start to tweak it, right? Build it once, and every customer who goes quiet walks back in automatically. Okay, so that's the whole path. Understand the equation. We talked about that. You'll see that there's 3 videos ago. 2, you need to audit your assets. 3, need to leverage them. That's where the reactivation becomes, this is a system that we need to do. And then now we make it run in the systematizing it. Understand it, audit it, leverage it, systematize it. And that's a business that truly, truly runs. That's how I look at it every single time that I decide when I go into a private client, and how I've been helping entrepreneurs for the last 20 years do it for themselves, right? So we go in, I already talked to the equation. Then let's audit your assets. From there, let's figure out how we're going to leverage. Let's do a cash flow surge. Let's do the referrals. Let's figure out a way, and then we systematize it to make it run. So much fun. And all of those are automatically scheduled. So everything that you add is just landing, is just a little extra. Everything that you add truly becomes, when you get a new customer, now you've got the systems in place to get them to stay, right? We've got the retention systems to get them to pay if they ever fall off, reactivate, and refer, because we're going to implement the referral system exactly this way. Okay, so I gave you the shape. The whole build is in the books. Every trigger, every sequence, every system in the equation. The new $1 million equation, well, it went live this week. It is on Amazon, so you can go pick it up there. Or if you'd like, you can come and join my Substack, where every week I'm teaching exactly like this. And even better is, if you see this in time, I'm doing a brand new live in-person 2-day workshop that we do on Zoom, where I show up and really help you put your systems in place so that you never, ever, never, ever, never, ever have to worry about it again. So let's go have some fun and let's make it happen. All right. You can check everything else. Okay. Have a great, great day. And I'll see you at the workshop if you make it.